Women were just starting to make their mark in 1985. You know, some of us had sort of got to the top. We were a very rare bunch. I always remember feeling so isolated in the boardrooms in which I was a director because there were no other women.
I was excited when Barbara mentioned to me that she intended to invite a group of women to become supportive to one another.
I rang the women whom I had come across in reporting in the Portfolio magazine, suggested we get together, have a meal and talk about the idea. And that's what we did.
I don't believe that there would ever have been a gathering of such corporate, political, cultural and artistic power at this house ever, and almost every single one of you a woman.
I applaud CEW for everything they're doing. I wish there was more. I mean, CEW is around Chief Executive Women. It's encouraging women to step forward, to not accept the status quo, to push forward and say we have a right to have a voice.
CEW is a fantastic organisation. It's an enabler for others, such as the MCCs, and it's a catalyst for people to think differently and approach issues differently.
In the beginning, yes, we were women chiefs of enterprise, and then Barbara had this idea of chief executive women, and we all thought, yeah, what a good idea.
I had no crystal ball to understand just how rapidly and how well received chief executive women would be with many of the major businesses in Australia.
The point when we decided that we would put together a scholarship was a very big landmark for us because it was really saying we're a group of women but we want to give back.
I believe it's incredibly important for the people who have come to the top to foster those behind them to come with them, to help as CEW does so well with the education of those who are capable of honing their skills even better, to help nurture people to realise that women can do it.
I've been told that I'm a good leader, but it's how do I become a great leader? And in thinking about this course, it's really made me question and challenge what is it that I stand for as a leader, as a woman, and as a human being.
Through things like the case studies and the CEO conversation and leadership shadow, we can educate organisations. Again, we're uniquely positioned as a group of women who've been there and done that.
We need to listen, and we need to listen to the senior and successful women, many of whom are members of Chief Executive Women, to learn from them what we need to do as leaders to change our organisation to create the right culture where they can succeed.
There's a lot of listening going on and a lot of questioning and a very strong mirror being held up and people looking at the world a bit differently.
As more women began to join us and we began to make our mark, and occasionally one of us would speak out on an issue, or one of us would rise a little higher up the ranks, it became apparent that those of us who were associated with Chief Executive Women were here to stay and were really among the movers and shakers of the day.
I didn't ever think that there were any limits or put any ceiling on anything that could be accomplished. And I had that same view about Chief Executive Women.
Chief Executive Women, for me, represents those values around courage and tenacity.
What CEW allows me to do is actually very consciously get involved, roll my sleeves up and actually try and make a difference.
Supporting each other, but really engaging with the community to pull other wonderful, young, talented women through.
To the women who had the foresight to found Chief Executive Women 30 years ago, I want to say thank you so much.
What a powerful organisation, what a legacy they have left. They did this when it wasn't easy. Not that it's easy today, but when it was really difficult.
So here we are today, 30 years later,
strong, a big organisation and a unified voice. We're going to make that change happen. I want the founders of CEW to know that the CEW of today, over 300 strong, stands ready to finish what they started.
Looking back and comparing what CEW was in 1985 to where we are now, I'm emotionally enriched.
I wish I could say, looking back over the last 30 years, that we've won all the battles, but we haven't. But we've certainly improved things, and I think that has been because of our persistence. We, between us, our 329 members, I think, have enormous clout, and it's that clout that is our best weapon.